to introduce our speaker this morning, Marti. How many of you already know Marti? Okay, so he needs some introduction to those of you that don't. He actually comes from this little place here, and he'll tell you the story around that. But Marti's one of Action's leading coaches. He's ranked number 7 in the world, which out of over 1,200 coaches is something of a major achievement. So he's built that on the back of coaching a lot of wide variety of businesses, and he's also run a number of his own successful businesses. But to give you that in a lot more detail, I'm going to introduce you to Marti, because one of the great things about good salespeople is they really like to talk about themselves. So please welcome Marti Amos.
Alrighty, good morning. Did anyone watch the game last night? How good are those Silver Ferns? What a great game. Awesome. So hopefully we can apply some Silver Fern tactics here today to winning the sale. So I'll just give you a quick overview of my story and how I come to be standing here before you today. So I grew up right here and was born here, swam across the ditch to go to university at Otago and did an honours and a masters in marketing. And while I was there, I started a business with a mate. Is anyone familiar with the entertainment book?
Yes.
Okay, so mate and I went and signed up 21 restaurants, and if only and I went out for dinner at one of those restaurants, her main meal would be free. And people paid $60 for the cup. I thought, okay, well we're selling it through advertising, how can we get some sales reps involved? So I hired 6 of my friends to do sales for us, selling to university students. And that went fantastically well until a couple of them did some dodgy things, and consequently I had to fire 5 of them 3 months later. So I learned my first lesson there in sales and what not to do. And one of those is have clear guidelines on what you expect out of your sales team, because you need to inspect what you expect. So are the goals for your sales team clear? Are they outlined? What are the rules? And do they follow a process and a system? Because if each salesperson does it differently, then how can you change the system to make sure that you get a consistent result? Okay, so have a process and have a system. We're going to be teaching you today how to put the steps you're going to build your own sales process. So then once I got over that shock, then moved up to Auckland and worked as the marketing manager for Honda Motorcycles. And the first part about that was we had to get the marketing in place to make the sales in-store easier. Because nothing ever happens in a vacuum. So sales are all predicated by your marketing. And people want to know 4 key things before they'll buy from you. Who are you? Who is your company? Can I trust you? And how specifically will you help me? So that stuff should all be covered on your website. It should be an information packs that people receive before you see them. And also there should be profiles of all your team members and also your company, and the number one thing, video testimonials from happy customers so that they can overcome objections, increase your believability and credibility, and decrease the customer's potential sales resistance. So that was a good lesson in sales at the dealer level, and then I worked as the country manager for Parade, and we grew that from turning over 350,000 to turning over 19 million in the space of 3 years. And again, that was a focus on working out what were the key drivers in sales. And in buying tyres, 72% of people will buy what the salesperson on the forecourt recommends for their car. So we worked out that was one of the key centres of influence. So then we put in place 2 key strategies for training dealers. Number 1 was product knowledge, because they need to know why would you buy a Parade if it's $50, $70, $150 more than another product. And the other key thing was we had to train them in sales. So salespeople need 2 key things to be successful. Number 1, great product knowledge, and number 2, great sales knowledge. And great sales knowledge will always beat out great product knowledge. Because people don't care how much they know until they know how much you care. I might roll out a few cliches. Okay, and then once I worked at Parade and got a cheap watch for my 70-hour weeks, I decided to leave the corporate world and became an action coach. And after about a year and a half, I came land marketing and hadn't learned enough about one-on-one selling. And in about 18 months, about 5 years ago, almost went bankrupt because I leveraged myself quite a lot. I was spending a lot of money on marketing, but we were burning a lot of leads. So I might see 10 people in a week. In some weeks I'd have a great week, and 7 people might come on board. And other weeks I'd have a shocker, and no one would. And I thought, is it me that sucks? Or is it the vehicle that I'm in? Is it the business that I'm in, or is it the way that I'm doing it? So I had a look at some of the other people in my industry, and there were some people making great money, some guys making $1 million a year, and here was me struggling to pay my bills. So I thought, well, there's no point in me keep on getting 20 leads a month and signing 2 or 3 clients. So I worked out, okay, I've got to change what I'm doing to get a different result. So I applied myself to learning and learned from the best, and read as many sales books as I could, and went to as many courses, went to courses in the States and learned from the best guys in our category to get their best practice. Started doing what they did. So role play, find out who the best people are in your industry, mystery shop them. So go and actually try and buy something from their business and look at all the processes and steps that they use. How can you use some of that stuff and implement it into your system to make sure that you get predictable and profitable results? Because that's what our business is all about. All business is a collection of systems. Marketing system to get the leads in, and a sales system to make sure that we're processing and converting those and upselling and cross-selling people when they come to sale. So that's, I love sales, and even once you know how to sell and you have a good conversion rate in your business, then you can really turn the marketing taps on and accelerate the business. Because there's no point in pouring more money into marketing if you've got holes in the bucket. Because all you're going to be doing is tipping money into a black hole. The easiest thing to do is to work on improving your conversion rate so that you don't have as much money wasted into the black hole market.